Chapter 7. Maria finally unlocked the door to Lucius's room when it was much lighter out, and he was grateful. Today, I will convince this mermaid to bring me back to the land in time for the wedding, Lucius thought, confident in himself as he opened the door. Maria was sitting at a table with different jars and glasses full of water. Is this for us? Lucius questioned, referring to the glasses. Those are my tears. I felt so bad about yelling at you and scaring you last night that I cried for hours afterward. I will not let them go to waste, Maria replied as she placed the lid on one of the jars. Oh, Lucius began, unsure of what to say for a moment. I apologize for making you cry. Do you have any friends you'd like me to meet? I have no friends. In fact, I'm the last of my kind and can only leave this place during the full moon. What? How did that happen? Many years ago, when I was very young, my mother had a master called Donald Warlegan. Before that master, she served his father. Before him, his father. None of them were very good people. But Donald Warlegan was truly wicked. He knew how powerful mermaids were and didn't want anyone else to have that power by being a mermaid's master. With his one wish, he asked for infinite power. My mother was unable to refuse and granted him the wish, although it cost her her life. With his new power, Warlegan eradicated all the mermaids except for me, as I become his new servant. Alas, his hubris was too much, and this spell also killed him, leading his young daughter to become my new mistress. Lucius remained silent, taken aback by the story as Maria collected another tear to keep in one of the jars. So, you captured me so you could have a friend, Lucius realized. To an extent, yes. But enough about me. Tell me about your sister, Maria replied. My sister? You said you had one yesterday, and then you barely mentioned her afterwards. Her name is Caroline, and she is wonderful. That's all? Well, she spent most of the last 10 years at boarding school, and I have not been able to spend a lot of time with her. And you were fine with this? Thinking about now, no. But what choice did I have? I had to become her guardian unexpectedly when I was 18, sending her off to boarding school so I had more time to focus on making sure we did not become penniless seemed like the best option at the time. And now she is getting married, Maria recalled. Was that also by you? I want to make sure she is taken care of, and now she is going to marry my partner and closest friend. I hope they are very happy together. I am sure they will be, Lucius replied. If only I were there to celebrate now. It is not the fanciest or best boat, but it will do, Jessica said as she stepped onto the boat she and Vincent had procured for their quest. At a time such as this, any boat that will help us find Caroline is a good boat, Vincent stated once the boat began to set sail. Now, how do we know which way the girl went? Well, considering that Caroline cannot be a very strong swimmer, she cannot have swum out too far. I think we will simply let the wind guide us and hope for the best. You are much more optimistic about this than I am. Simply remember that I am doing all this in the name of love, and love makes you do inconceivable things. Exactly, my dear, Vincent replied with a smile. Then we shall be off, Jessica decided as the boat slowly sailed away from the dock. As Caroline and Nori continued swimming, Nori pointed out different locations that meant a lot to her. This is where I was able to defend my brother Mizuko when a shark tried to eat at him, Nori explained. Oh my goodness, can you explain this in more detail? Caroline asked, shocked by the statement. You see, Mizuku is the second youngest in the family, and always tries to show off, especially to our oldest brother Barnacle. He heard that sharks liked to hang out at this place every 7 days and thought he could outsmart them and maybe steal one of the treasures he heard about. He dragged me along on this escapade, and things did not go according to his plan at all. First of all, there was no treasure. But what was even worse was that the shark here was not only nasty, but super hungry. He saw my brother and decided he would make a tasty little snack as he tried to confront him. Luckily for Mizuku, I was hiding and realized that if I didn't step in, he would die. While the shark was focused on Mizuku, I swam to his tail and bit it as hard as I could. This distracted the shark long enough for my brother to swim to a small cave, and after that, Mizuku learned to always respect and value me. You are a very courageous turtle, Nori. Thank you, Caroline. Now, tell me about you. Will you please tell me about your life on land? I recently finished school, and am about to be married, Caroline began. You're gonna get married soon? That sounds wonderful. What's your life like? What's your love like? How long have you known each other, and when did you realize he was the one? Nori questioned quickly. Vincent and I properly met each other a little more than a week ago, and he treats me very well. And? What do you mean? That's all you can say about the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with? If you want to hear more, he lives in a lovely home, and my brother thinks highly of him. But do you love him? Vincent told me he loved me, and has always been a proper gentleman to my family and me. And that's enough for you to decide that he should be your mate for life? Well, Lucius trusts Vincent, and highly encouraged me to consider him as a potential for marriage. Then why doesn't Lucius marry Vincent if he likes him so much? Because he cares more about whom I marry. Do you want to marry Vincent, though? Caroline remained silent for a moment, the question catching her off guard. Now that I think about it more, everything did move incredibly quickly, she thought, and the only reason I considered Vincent for marriage right away was because everyone greatly insisted upon it. She was about to speak before Nori said, Hold on for a moment. Is something wrong? Caroline questioned. Swim up. What? Swim up! Nori repeated as she began to swim higher. Caroline started to follow Nori when she felt some sort of invisible force pull her down, leading her to start spinning around in circles. Nori, what is happening to me? Caroline yelled. You're stuck in a whirlpool of wallows. Anyone who swims too close to them gets sucked in, and it becomes very nearly impossible to escape, Nori called out. Caroline's breaths became short and quick. But I think I know a way you can get out of there. First, just try to breathe as you normally would. Caroline closed her eyes, ignoring the physical feeling of swirling around to focus on her breathing. You'll be fine in a minute. You'll be fine in a minute. Breathe and ignore the swirling, Caroline told herself. When she finally worked up enough courage, she looked up and opened her eyes, focusing solely on Nori. Now, try to swim up and don't look at anything else, Nori instructed. Caroline started kicking and tried to pull herself out of the whirlpool. However, the current was much stronger than what she was used to, and as Nori said, it seemed nearly impossible to escape. No, you cannot stay here forever, Caroline told herself, refusing to feel discouraged. You have come this far on your quest and cannot stop now. Remember that Lucius is in danger, and you are the only one who can save him. Repeating these thoughts in her head continuously, Caroline continued to swim, and with each statement, she could feel herself get closer to the top of the whirlpool, while Nori kept on yelling, Come on, you're almost there, Caroline! Just keep looking at me! After a long time, Caroline finally escaped. You did it! I knew you could do it! Nori exclaimed as she quickly swam away from the whirlpools. Only because of you. If you did not give me any advice, I would still be stuck in there, Caroline replied, mildly out of breath. Remember, though, I only yelled instructions at you. Getting out of that whirlpool was basically all you. Perhaps you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Maybe I am.